So after disappointing my entire nation of people at UFC Fight Night Vegas 36 against Derek Brunson, where he lost by third round submission, Darren Till is in a really dangerous position in his career, where maybe if he loses another one, he's either going to be cut from the UFC or be sacrificed to a new up-and-comer to make sure that someone gets to make a name off of Darren Till before they eventually cut him afterwards. He's in a very dangerous position where he needs to definitely win his next fight at least to make sure that he stays in a good position in the UFC and stays in a favourable situation for himself moving forward to get back towards a title shot that I know he wants so badly. I know he still wants to be a world champion, and I want Darren Till to still be a world champion, but we're going to have to do it a different way than what we've been doing so far, and there's 3 different ways we can go about this. I believe, first of all, before I break down what's on the screen right now, this needs to happen in the middleweight division. I know some people are mentioning maybe he should move down to welterweight again. I just don't feel like that's an option whatsoever. I don't think he can make welterweight again, and even if he did, I would not like his chances taking punishment at welterweight. Now he's taken even more punishment at middleweight and got KO'd by Masvidal before he left. I feel like it has to take place at middleweight, so these are the different options. The safety first option, this is going to be a way that gives Darren Till a bunch of favourable matchups in good style matchups that he thinks he can win, so we can maybe try and get him slowly but surely back to the top of the division looking for a title shot. Over here we've got the ultra hype way of doing things, which is not maybe ideal for Darren Till winning the fights. However, they're just going to be a bunch of big fights that you can make using Darren Till's name moving forward and also getting him back towards that title shot. And down here is the high risk option. This is the one that I do not advise whatsoever, that I feel like Darren Till would not be able to complete a pathway back to the belt in. Very risky position here in the high risk option. Shorter than the other two, of course, because he can get right back to the top. However, it does not favour him whatsoever. Let's start straight away with the safety first area of this. Starting with step number 1. Next fight for Darren Till, in my opinion. First of all, I think he should stay very active. I'm going to slowly drag all of the fighters into the boxes where they belong and also move Darren Till down as he goes along his own different pathways. Darren Till, in my opinion, his first opponent he needs to take on next, that would be the safest option for him, is Brad Tavares. Ranked number 13, I believe, in the middleweight division. Coming off some wins right now, so he does have a little bit of momentum, but he's 33 years of age. He's a purely stand-up based fighter. He rarely shoots takedowns, and when he does, they don't seem to be too effective against his opponents whatsoever. So, it's a good matchup for Darren Till. He's not a big middleweight either, is Brad Tavares. He's actually quite a small guy for the middleweight division, which definitely helps Darren Till as well as a welterweight moving up. He's not going to get oversized, overpowered, and just drowned out on the ground by a guy with relentless takedowns like a Derek Brunson. Darren Till, in his first step, should maybe look to take on a guy like Brad Tavares. Boxing first style. Shorter reach than Darren Till. I think this could be very good for Darren Till if he wants to take this match up next. It's not a big name, so maybe it wouldn't put him in the main event of a fight night or another good position on a card, but that could definitely open up a pay-per-view card anytime. Probably the Adesanya versus Whittaker 2 pay-per-view card as well. That could open up any pay-per-view card. Darren Till versus Brad Tavares is a great matchup. It's not going to turn everyone's head, but I think it's a pretty favourable matchup for Darren Till. He's rangier, Tavares is a bit older, Tavares has taken his damage throughout his career and continues to take a lot of damage in his career, just took a beating against Omari Akhmedov but still came out on top, but took a lot of big shots in that fight, got dropped in the first round. Darren Till should look to take on Brad Tavares, and if he wins that one, another favourable matchup for Darren Till is, and I do want Darren Till to succeed. I know I'm angry at him because of how much he has let me down in his career, okay? But I do want him to succeed. So if he does beat a guy like Brad Tavares, another matchup he could take on, there isn't too much of a jump up afterwards, but he would beat a top 15 guy. Then he would look for a top 10 opponent. I think a perfect top 10 opponent for him would be Uriah Hall, primetime himself. This would be a great matchup. This would also be a big matchup as well. I think Uriah Hall's going to take a little bit of time off, but if he can get a win in the meantime, at the same time that Darren Till does, you could excuse making that the main event of a fight night, having a show based around Darren Till's name and Uriah Hall's name. They're both big strikers. They like striking non-stop. Uriah Hall, I don't think I've ever seen him shoot for a takedown really with any kind of conviction whatsoever. I think it'd be a great matchup for Darren Till. Uriah Hall, stand-up guy, very hesitant, very patient. I think that plays right into Darren Till's favour. And plus, Uriah Hall just doesn't seem to be able to take the damage on the feet that maybe he once did. Seems to shell up quite a lot. His face seems to be giving away to certain shots, like from Sean Strickland. And if Sean Strickland can walk you down effectively and beat you up with his striking, I truly believe that Darren Till can as well. Don't get me wrong, Sean Strickland's very good at striking. However, I know that maybe these credentials aren't maybe as true as we thought they were, but Sean Strickland isn't 44-0 in kickboxing. He's a scrappy guy who's mentally somewhat unstable. That's Sean Strickland's striking credentials right there. I like him for it. I love Sean Strickland. He's one of my favourite personalities in the UFC, but I feel like if he can do it to Uriah Hall, now that Uriah Hall's even older and recovering from a fractured orbital bone and even going to be older by the time he takes on Darren Till, if this goes down, be a great matchup for Darren Till. Moving forward with another safe option for Darren Till, which isn't so safe, but it's at the end of the safety first area. So although the other two have been safe, the last one's still going to be dangerous because it is in a top 5. Paulo Costa. First of all, I'd love to see it just so we could see Darren Till and Paulo talk Portuguese back and forth and have some shit talk in a different language, so maybe we can actually see just how good Paulo Costa is verbally, because it's hard to really gauge how good someone is at shit talking when they're speaking in their second language, and Darren Till seems to be completely fluent in Portuguese. So I feel like Darren Till, Paulo Costa, great matchup to make. And I also feel like it's a good matchup because, again, Paulo Costa's not going to shoot a takedown, is he? He didn't even try and do it against Izzy. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Darren Till, Paulo Costa, good matchup, and maybe Darren Till, after beating 2 guys in a row, getting his confidence back, can go out there against Paulo Costa in a 5-round bout, main event of a fight night, and just stay away from him enough like Israel Adesanya did in the first 2 rounds, picket him, move out the way, let him miss a couple of shots, and start to take over in the later rounds like he looked like he was about to against Derek Brunson. I feel as though Darren Till could go down this pathway. This would be a tricky matchup for him against Paulo Costa because I can actually see an outcome where Paulo Costa just simply walks him down and beats the fuck out of him and catches him on the chin and puts him out cold. People forget that Paulo Costa, even though he got embarrassed by Adesanya, is still that guy that walked down Romero and had his hands behind his back. Like, Paulo Costa is still a savage, but I think this is the safety first route for Darren Till. Let's move on to the ultra hype section of the video. Darren Till, if he wants to get a big name straight away that's going to generate a lot of attention, that isn't a Brad Tavares bout that will be seen as a bounce back opponent, Kevin Holland is taking on Kyle Dalkaus very, very soon, and I think he's going to win that matchup. And if he doesn't, oh my god, he's going to win that matchup. Because he just is, okay? And that's final. Let's just be real and say that right now. Kevin Holland gets through Kyle Dalkaus. Now I've jinxed that. I think Darren Till versus Kevin Holland, amazing fight night main event, regardless if Darren Till's also coming off a loss in a main event of a fight night. I still think that'll be a big fight to make. A massive amount of appeal in terms of the casual fans. They know who Kevin Holland is. They know who Darren Till is. There'll be a lot of attention on that card. Or it can open up the main card of a pay-per-view, be in the feature fight of a pay-per-view. But I think this would be a great fight purely just for the press conference. I think they both go back and forth, have some entertaining exchanges. It'd be a dangerous fight for Darren Till because Kevin Holland is wild, and when you're coming off 2 losses and you desperately need a win, you're going to be a little bit hesitant, a little bit itchy, a little bit agitated. If there's one thing that Kevin Holland isn't, it's an overthinker in a fight, let's be real. I mean, he goes out there and has little care in the world, even if he is losing. If Darren Till needs to win, this is a dangerous matchup because Holland's so wild. He's got a massive reach advantage. He can catch Till leaning backwards and maybe put him out cold. This would be a great matchup though in terms of hype. Next up for Darren Till in the ultra hype section, in my opinion, could be, if he does get past Kevin Holland, a matchup with Marvin Vettori. I think this would be a great one. In all honesty, this would be an amazing fight. I like this one. It'd be a dangerous matchup for Darren Till again, but they have history. They have a little bit of beef. I almost hated that Marvin Vettori offered out a hand to say, come and wrestle with me. I know he's trying to build up a little bit of a middleweight collection right now. They've got Kelvin Gastelum, Sean Strickland, Marvin Vettori over at King's MMA, but I think they need to keep their beef real, okay? There is some beef there. They both went back and forth. I think Darren Till, if he beats a guy like Kevin Holland, could definitely be looking at taking on a Marvin Vettori. Let's say if Marvin Vettori loses loses to Paulo Costa. If Marvin Vettori wins against Paulo Costa and still knows he needs one more bout but doesn't really want to take on the winner of Strickland versus Rockhold, maybe because it's Strickland and he knows he likes Strickland and their training partners, that could be a potential outcome. Maybe he sees Rockhold, who's just got into the rankings, and maybe Till's going to be one higher than Rockhold in the rankings. Maybe he looks for Till instead of Rockhold. I think that'd be a great matchup. And these two fights are just massive, massive fights that would generate a lot of attention, a lot of attraction from the casual fans, and I think he'd have a decent chance against him, but I would see Marvin Vettori being able to out-grapple Darren Till if he doesn't change some things. He better have been injured in that Derek Brunson fight, because these middleweights are going to eat him alive otherwise in the grappling department. Don't get me wrong, Derek Brunson is a good grappler, but the takedown defense of Till needs to come up a little bit, okay? Otherwise, Vettori's probably going to ragdoll him as well. But good matchup, I think, and if he does win that one against Vettori, to get back towards a title shot, and this is purely circumstantial, to make sure that it's the ultimate amount of hype possible in 3 certain fights. Kevin Holland, Marvin Vettori, Israel Adesanya. This could be a potential outcome. If Israel Adesanya loses to Robert Whittaker, and there is a new contender with the winner of Jared Cannonier versus Derek Brunson, or something like that, then you could justify not making a trilogy for Israel Adesanya right away, because let's be real, Whittaker had to win 3 fucking fights in a row, okay? So Israel Adesanya might not get an immediate trilogy against Robert Whittaker. Maybe he has to win what's... Fuck out of my face, you dumb fly. It's dead. That's what I'm talking about, bitch. Anyway. What was I saying? If Adesanya loses to Whittaker, there could be a situation where they don't justify a trilogy because they have new contenders that they want to get towards the belt. Let's say Cannonier flatlines Brunson and calls out Whittaker for a title shot. Was a close fight the first time. Maybe Adesanya needs one more win. He sees Till on a 2-fight win streak. They have a final reason to make that fight happen where it couldn't have been made before. Darren Till, Israel Adesanya could happen. Very unlikely, but the unlikeliness of ultra hype in general is pretty unlikely. It's unlikely Till gets past Holland. Unlikely he gets past Vettori. And unlikely he even beats Adesanya, but I'm playing along here if he does win these matchups, even if I don't think he wins some of them at this point in his career. But he does have to make some massive changes, but it could end with an Israel Adesanya bout for a title shot against, who knows, the winner of Whittaker Cannonier, or something like that down the line. I think Adesanya beats Whittaker, so if Darren Till wants to get to the title shot as soon as he humanly possibly can, by taking the most risk possible, there is one name he could call out for December right now. And that man's name is... It's right, I'm joking, it's not Francis Ngannou. It's Jack Hermansson, the Joker in the middleweight division, okay? Darren Till, Jack Hermansson, it was booked before. I know Jack Hermansson probably doesn't see himself wanting to take that fight next, but let's be real, Jack Hermansson, you're going to get fucking forgotten about in this middleweight division if you don't start taking fights soon, and I would take a Darren Till at this point, after seeing how bad his takedown defense was against Derek Brunson. I would be licking my lips, Jack Hermansson, at a potential chance at beating Darren Till. I do not believe that Darren Till would beat Jack Hermansson. I think he would be taken down and submitted quite easily. But if he wants that chance to beat a guy who's number 6 in the world, I believe right now, maybe number 7, I think he's number 6. Right now, everyone else at middleweight is matched up. Paulo Costa versus Marvin Vettori. You've got Sean Strickland versus Luke Rockhold. Adesanya versus Whittaker is going to be happening next. I think it's going to be Cannonier versus Brunson, and I doubt it's going to be anything else because Cannonier's already beaten Hermansson. I feel as though Hermansson's only option, unless he wants to step way back and look for a Tavares or a Uriah Hall or a loser of one of these upcoming bouts, he should look to take on Darren Till in the middleweight division. It could happen. I doubt it's going to happen. But if Till can win that one, he can put himself right back in title elimination talks with good timing against, and this is the high risk one, if it does go how I believe it will in Adesanya versus Whittaker 2, with Adesanya getting the win again maybe, even though I'm quite torn and I could change my mind, Robert Whittaker in a rematch for a title elimination bout, winner gets a title shot again, unless it's Robert Whittaker, in which case he has to beat Ngannou, then Derek Lewis, then Curtis Blades, and then just go to kickboxing and beat Rico Verhoeven, and then we'll just see how it goes, and then go to jiu-jitsu and fucking beat Orlando Sanchez, who knows, in a fucking arm lock match. Whittaker's going to have to jump through a bunch of fucking hoops, but if Darren Till beats Hermansson, he's probably going to be number 6, number 5 in the world. If he beats Whittaker afterwards, there's an argument for a title shot. I don't think he wins any of these matchups. This would be the way I would go about it. This is the most potential chance to have Darren Till back in the mix. I'm sorry there was no Mike Perry in this video. I tried to keep it realistic. He's not even ranked in the top 25 at welterweight or 30, I believe. And then this is the ultra hype way. Could happen. Probably won't be successful in this area. And then this is just no chance. But, like, if you want to get to a title shot as soon as you can, that's how you do it. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Come on, Darren Till. Just continue to just win. Just win. I'm sick of it. Okay? Like and subscribe. Click that button up there. Toodle pip. I'll see you later. Come on, Darren Till. The resurgence is upon us. Hopefully he sees this video and follows my orders and gets himself back into title contention, because you know yourself, even if you think he's a bad fighter and overrated and doesn't have takedown defense and is too single-dimensional and he doesn't have any other thing other than a 1-2 down the pipe, I understand. It's way more fun having Darren Till around in the UFC, especially in big-time fights. Toodle pip.